How is he only a 90 overall? You have Richard Sherman, some old man who can't run for jack.
You need to put respect on Zach Ertz's name and a bunch of other tight ends that should be higher than Rob Gronkowski.
The man hasn't played since 2018. He's not going to be the NL MVP.
And then he goes onto an Instagram live where he seems to have been under the influence, smoking a cigar.
I don't think MVP is indicative of the best player in the league.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We are back here with the 36th episode. Wow, we got to 36. Who would have thought? Podcast in May got all the way to the 36th episode. But, so we're going to get right into it. We're going to try to make this a little quick episode. Tommy, tear off the Band-Aid. Who are you going with 36?
I'm going to go with David Cohn. This is an obvious pick for me, and I hope so for Connor as well. An iconic Yankee pitcher. He won a Cy Young, five-time All-Star, and he won 5 World Series, which is very impressive. He also played for the Mets, his hometown team, the Royals. He was great throughout his entire career. He had a 3.46 ERA, nearly 200 career wins, and a 62.3 career WAR. And he's pretty relevant today because he's a broadcaster on the YES Network. He does a great job with them. So I had to go with David Cohn this week.
Mike, are you going to agree with him?
No, I'm not going to go with David Cohn. I'm going to go with Jerome Bettis. Instead of a cone, he's something that runs over the cones. The bus. We're going with the bus, Jerome Bettis, and here's why. Listen, he's a 6-time Pro Bowler. He also won a Super Bowl, 2-time All-Pro. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was the Offensive Rookie of the Year and a Walter Payton Man of the Year. When we talk about go the number, we also talk about what they do off the field, and Jerome Bettis was also involved in that part. This guy was just he was an absolute tank. He was Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry became Derrick Henry. So this guy is he's the go of the number 36. I'll just leave it at that.
Connor?
I mean, if this guy's a bus and he's running over cones, how good really is he? The bus isn't supposed to hit the cones.
That's right, Connor. That's a good point.
He goes right through him. He's a rule breaker. That's how good he is.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to agree with Tommy here. I'm going to go David Cohn. The perfect game in 1999, I think, is really what sealed this for me with David Cohn. I mean, 5 World Series, a Cy Young, 5 All-Stars, and then the perfect game in 1999. Tommy had a lot more of the statistical numbers there, but being the Yankee fan that I am, I would feel wrong not picking David Cohn here.
Come on. It's not. What are you going to say, Tommy?
Oh, I just wanted to say Connor brought up the perfect game, and that's the last no-hitter of any kind that the Yankees have thrown. So 1999 is the last time, so it's pretty impressive.
The last no-hitter the Yankees thrown?
Yeah, no Yankees.
Didn't your go of the week just throw a no-hitter, but for the Cubs?
Yeah, he's a Cub.
And he didn't win the go of the week, so this guy's not going to win the go to number 36. The go to number 36 has got to be the bus. I don't know how you can't go against the bus. Jerome Bettis, have you looked at this guy? This guy was huge. He was Derrick Henry. Like Mike said, he was Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry. Kind of a tongue twister there, but
Say that done fast.
The bus was unbelievable for the Steelers. Tommy, you're a Steelers fan and you're not going for the bus. What are you doing, buddy?
But I'm a Yankees fan before anything else. And David Cohn, he was outstanding. And Mike,
but was he outstanding enough to be the best 36? That's the question.
Otherwise, Connor and I wouldn't have picked him if he wasn't.
Don't argue this for number 36 because Paul Pierce was not good enough to be 34.
And I didn't pick 30.
I acknowledged that, though. I acknowledged that.
So let me ask.
David Cohn hasn't even made the Hall of Fame.
He hasn't.
How is he in the same conversation with the bus if he hasn't even made the Hall of Fame?
But he was a big name
We've
pitcher.
had numerous players on here who haven't been in the Hall of Fame. We all went Pete Rose for 14, and he's not in the Hall of Fame.
I didn't.
Well, but that's a little different, though.
That doesn't compare.
This time.
I mean,
but
we can sit here and argue, but we're not going to get anywhere. Right, Tommy?
Yes, you were right about that, Matt Cain. But David Cohn is the number 36.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, well, they're a little crazy today.
Mike's frozen on an eye roll.
Mike was frozen on the eye roll.
Tag David Cohn on Twitter. Tell him to go watch the episode. He's very active on Twitter. So.
Okay, but we're gonna head right into our next segments. regarding, of course, sports. What else? We'll see you guys next.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We just had a really good heated debate on number 36. We're now going to move into it's a little bit of a joint conversation here. We're just going to talk about the playoffs in general. NBA, they're hitting the conference finals, and then the NHL, they're in the Stanley Cup Finals. I think we'll start with the NBA first. Now I have a question. Who was it that said Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the NBA? And then who was it who went out in Game 7 and put up 14 points for his team? Who blew the 3-1 lead? That was Kawhi Leonard, right, Mike?
Yep, that was Kawhi.
And if I'm not mistaken, you were also the one who said that he was the best player in the NBA. Am I right, Mike?
Yes.
So where do you stand on that statement currently?
Currently, obviously it's a tough loss, and Kawhi was a big part of that Clippers loss, but I feel like it wasn't just Kawhi that lost the Clippers that series. I thought it was the Clippers as a whole. They all, everyone on that team just played horrible. Paul George, Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, Pat Bev, everyone played miserably. They need to get someone that can guard those elite big men because they had no answer for Jokic throughout the series. Doc Rivers was a horrible coach, and it was a big upset. It was probably, to be honest, it was probably the biggest disappointment for a team in the past decade. Bigger than the 2011 Heat team, bigger than the Warriors when they went 73-8 or whatever, 73-9, right? And bigger than the 2019 Celtics or the Thunder with Westbrook when they blew a 3-1 lead to the Warriors, right? At the end of the day, it was absolutely miserable. They need to add someone that could guard those bigs in the offseason. Hopefully they'll bounce back next season. I still think Kawhi is this. He's not the best anymore, but obviously you can't get bounced out in the semifinals and still be considered the best. So I'll still take him as the second best. So yeah, it was disappointing, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
So then kind of going off of that, I guess now we have our Western Conference Finals matchup. It's the Lakers and the Nuggets. Do we see the quote-unquote Cinderella story continue? I mean, they are the 3 seed in the West. We can't forget that. But do we see that continuing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, kudos to them for getting this far, but LA has something that the other teams didn't have, and that's LeBron James. I can't see LeBron going up 3-1 and just, the whole team around Kawhi was awful, but I can't see LeBron letting that happen. I just can't.
I agree. I mean, they're my pick now that the other 2 teams in the finals are out of it. I just think that the Lakers are a much better team. Like you said, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and they have a deep roster too. They have a lot of guys that can step in if they need to. So I think the Lakers will be fine.
I honestly think the Nuggets can win this series. Do I think they will? No, because they have Anthony Davis, who me and Connor thought should have won Defensive Player of the Year. Now guarding Jokic. The Clippers had no one in the sort of Anthony Davis, so that's a huge advantage for the Lakers. I definitely think the Nuggets can win this series. Do I think they will? No. I'm telling you, if the Lakers are up 2-1 going to Game 4, I'm just forfeiting that game. I'm not letting the Nuggets go down 3-1 because they're going to come back. So, yeah, I still think the Lakers will win this series in 6, but I think the Nuggets have a possible chance of winning. I'll just leave it at that.
So I'm going to agree with Matt and Tommy here. It's obviously the Lakers. I have them in 6. And Mike, you always do this. You go, well, the Lakers are probably going to win, but the Nuggets could. So either way, you're not going to sound dumb. Pick one. Pick a team right now. Lakers or Nuggets.
I'm saying the Lakers are going to win, but I'm just saying don't be surprised. The Nuggets have been proving people wrong all this playoffs. I'm not denying the possibility of the Nuggets pulling off another upset.
You know, this is a perfect segue. You mentioned a team who's proved everyone wrong throughout the playoffs. Let's move over into the East, where Miami is now up 2-0 over the Boston Celtics, proving everyone wrong, proving you wrong.
Yeah,
I don't think this was on the schedule to talk about, buddy. I think this is gonna take too long.
No, all I'll say is that the Celtics need to come out and win Game 3. I still think the Celtics can win this series, but the difference between the Celtics winning and them losing is just the Heat outperforming them in the final couple minutes of every game. That's what it comes down to, and the Celtics just need to step up when it matters most.
Yeah, Heat in 4. Let's move over. Let's.
Wait. Are you seriously going with the Heat in 4?
It's
I
No,
think
not-
it could happen. I
Right
think
now,
the
it's not.
Celtics are going to be the Celtics are in self-destruct mode.
Right now, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. After everything that came out about in the locker room after Game 2, and players having to be physically separated from each other, they like Matt just said, they're in self-destruct mode. I would not be surprised if the Heat come out in Game 3, and it's not a close game where they have to come down to those last couple minutes.
I don't know. I think the Celtics are going to come out and win Game 3, but that's just my opinion. Whatever. We'll move on.
Really quick, one more last point on this, then we'll move into the Stanley Cup Finals. Is in both games, the Boston Celtics had a plus 10-point advantage. The first game, it was 12 going into the fourth, and then this one, they were up 17. So, I mean, truthfully, I really think Miami is just playing better basketball. They're the better team right now, and I would not be surprised if they win Game 3 and go on to win Game 4.
Well, the thing that's shocking me is that the Heat are having like all these role players, like you said, they are making the toughest shots at the end of games, like that shot by Dragic over Tice. No clue how that went in. Game 1, you got Jimmy Butler hitting that step back three. He barely shoots threes, and you got Tyler Hero coming up big in the last minute. It's all, can the Heat consistently do this? And so far in the playoffs, they've proven that they could do it. So I have nothing bad to say against the Heat right now. I'm just hoping that Boston can play better, not turn the ball over so much.
Okay, we'll stray away from basketball now, and for a Stanley Cup preview, I think I'm going to throw it down to my guy here, Matt.
Well, we got the Tampa Bay Lightning, Mike's Tampa Bay Lightning that he was so high on. Also Tommy too. Can't forget Tommy. I think Tommy's actually in the lead of the NHL Stanley Cup whatever, the bracket thing we're doing.
Yeah, I
So-
was taking a look at it. It's like my bracket is like exactly what happened. It's like it's the answer key. It's crazy. Like I don't know how the heck I ever picked it. Because
Well,
I don't know. I'm impressed.
did you have the stars too?
I think I did. I couldn't
All
log
right,
in
so-
because I forgot the password. But I think that I'm pretty sure that's what I had. Yeah.
So it's Tommy's finals. We got the Dallas Stars, the 3 seed, who kind of made a surprising domination against Vegas, and we got the Tampa Bay Lightning, who just beat the New York Islanders last night in overtime. So Tommy, you went with Tampa Bay. Are you still gonna go with Tampa Bay?
Of course, I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. But now that I think of it, I think I did actually have Vegas and not Dallas. So
yeah, you had Vegas. I'm looking at it right now.
okay, all right. Let me know how I did. But yeah, of course I have the Lightning. I had them going the whole way, and I'm not gonna change now because they're doing great and they're gonna continue and they're gonna win. So
I'll throw it over to our other Lightning fan. Well, Lightning hopeful.
Yeah, I agree with Tommy. They're playing out of this world right now. So are the Stars, but the Stars are more of a defensive team, kind of like what the Islanders were, and the Lightning were able to overcome that. So I think the same thing will happen in the Stanley Cup final. I got the Lightning finally taking it home.
Connor.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I think it's going to be the Lightning. I think it could be a tougher series than everyone's going, obviously, at the Lightning. Or like, I think it's going to be close. I really do. Dallas has been one of those teams, much like the Miami Heat in the NBA, have kind of just proved everyone wrong and flown on the radar. And I think they've made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. I think they could give the Lightning some push and shove there, but it's going to be the Lightning coming out holding the cup.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think I trash talked the Lightning so much in the beginning of the playoffs, but I was wrong. They actually came out to play. And, kudos to Dallas. I think they're compensating, giving their city a winning team for once. That city of Dallas doesn't see a lot of playoff runs. The Mavericks lost early in those playoffs. But kudos to the Stars. I just don't think that they're going to be able to beat these Tampa Bay Lightning, the red hot Tampa Bay Lightning.
Another kudos does go out to the New York Islanders, though. They put their entire heart into these playoffs. I mean, no one expected them. They were the 6th seed, right?
They were 7, I think.
6.
So I mean, technically they weren't supposed to get out of the first round, and they made it to the Eastern Finals. So that's a huge accomplishment for that team.
They were 6. They beat the Capitals 3.
They just got to add some offense in the offseason, and they're set, dude. Like, they had 2 games going to overtime. Game 2 was extremely close, so they definitely could have won that series. But look out for the Islanders next year.
Well, I feel like this is a great bridge into something that Tommy loves to talk about. I said that we'd be talking about some baseball soon, so we're gonna hit this break, and then we're going to tell you about these Yankees.
Can't wait. Hey, everybody, we're back, and the Yankees are back. They've won 8 games in a row. They've hit 19 home runs in the past 3 days. Everybody here was questioning them except me. I told you they were going to be okay. And
Didn't you question them yourself?
You did question them.
That was off the air.
It was off record. Doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Well, but you can't blame me for questioning them. They lost 15 of 20. There was a point where I was like, you know what? Maybe I am a little delusional and the team's in trouble. But then we saw that once they got their guys back, Giancarlo, Gio Urshela, and obviously Aaron Judge, the team has started to roll. They've looked great over the past few games, and I hope they continue again this weekend against Boston. Guys, do you think the Yankees are back? I certainly do. I'll start with you, Con. Matt Cade, wait, no, maybe I'll start with Matt Cade. What are you talking about?
Okay, I think the Yankees are back for now.
Yeah.
I think in the future, going in, if they make the playoffs, they're not going to be back. They're not going to be able to beat that first-round team, and they might actually even have some injuries. I mean, let's talk about that long naughty list that Santa had a couple weeks ago, those injuries.
Well,
I mean, come on. And then
Also talk about
and then the other day, the Yankees won 23-6, am I right?
20-6, yeah.
I just see it on everyone's Instagram story, Yankees fans just suddenly woke up.
Yeah, because they're bandwagoners, but I'm not. So
I'm not saying you are, Tommy. I'm not saying any of you guys are. But I just think that it's a little wait, how many games have they won?
They've won 8 in a row.
I don't think saying that they're back, I wouldn't say they're back.
But now also let's account for that 8 in a row in a 60-game season. In a normal season, that's 24 straight wins. And now, I mean, obviously,
that's not. You can't just do that because that would not be the same.
In ordinance to the overall games that they're playing in a season, 8 wins that's detrimental, or I mean, it's great for their success. If they had lost 8 games in a row, you wouldn't be saying this. If they had lost 8 games in a row, you'd be like, oh no, they're doomed. But now they've won 8 games in a row. You're like, meh. Here's the thing.
I'm not gonna say that they're back. We
they're the
predicted
5
them.
seed now.
We predicted them as a World Series champion. They're not
and
back.
they're going to be the World Series champion. And here's
why.
Wait. I thought 5 episodes ago you said they're not even gonna make it to the playoffs.
Because I did not know where their injury list was going to stand.
Seems like you're circling around now.
Their injury list is cleared, and now let me tell you why.
Hey, who says that injury list?
Be quiet for 2 minutes, and you can let me tell you why they're going to win the World Series.
They're not going to win the World Series. Look at the Dodgers. Look at Dustin May.
Okay, let's listen to Connor.
Fernando Tatis to his knees.
Just let Connor say his piece.
Does anyone understand the Garrett Cole that we saw the other night pitching? He was no-hitting the Blue Jays through 6 innings.
Yes,
No-hitting a team that they've been battling back and forth against. Luke Voit is the 3rd Yankee in history to hit 20 home runs through 50 games. No one came into the season expecting that from Luke Voit. No one expects anything really from Luke Voit around the Yankees team when they have names like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton and Gary Sanchez. And I mentioned Gary Sanchez, and I mentioned how he's absolutely stunk it up. And then we see his backup catcher, and Kyle Higashioka, come in the other night, and he hit 3 home runs. 3 home runs that were some of his farthest and hardest hit of his career. So, yes, maybe their starting catcher stinking it up, but Higashioka called and caught a great game for Garrett Cole and hit 3 home runs that game. And that game was the same game Aaron Judge came back, and he went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. So they have these players who are just coming off the injury list, and they're still able to have those quote-unquote rehab games where they're getting back into the swing of things, and they still have these players who are stepping up. We haven't seen that from the Yankees this season where the players are stepping up, but I think we're finally coming to the point where the Yankee players and the Yankee organization is saying, okay, we're down right now, but we're not out of it. We got to get our heads out of our butts and play some good baseball, and that's exactly what they've done the last week and a day.
I couldn't have said better myself, Connor. I mean, they are fine. What did I say before?
Always say they're fine though.
No, but I did. But I said that if they get everybody back, they will be fine, and that was a question. And like you said, Matt, could somebody get injured again? Yes, but I mean, you can't think like that. They're back now. They've missed a lot of time, and the lineup is very strong. And you mentioned Gary Sanchez. Obviously, his struggles are well documented, but he's starting to hit the ball a lot better. I think he has a little bit of a hit streak going, maybe 3 or 4 games. And obviously, he's got to keep that going and be a little more consistent. But that's encouraging as well, because if we're going to win, we need production from the catcher position, whether it's Higashioka or Gary Sanchez. And obviously, you'd like to have Gary Sanchez because he's more experienced than Higashioka. But I feel comfortable either way with either one of them. And, just the lineup. I mentioned it before, but to have all those guys back, that's a scary lineup. You got Voit, you got Judge, you got Giancarlo. They're in good shape. I'm excited. We're gonna have the postseason here in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be great.
Okay, wait.
Episodes ago, hang on, Mike. A couple episodes ago,
Mike hasn't even talked.
I'm sorry. A couple episodes ago, when I was saying that the Yankees were in trouble, a lot of that was based upon their bullpen play and how inexperienced and how unreliable their bullpen had been this season. But when they're up in games 20-6 or 13-1, as we saw the other night, they don't have to rely on the bullpen to blow a game. So I think as long as their bats continue producing like this, they're not going to be in any sort of trouble where the bullpen won't be able to bail them out.
They're not going to be blowing out teams in the playoffs, though. It just boggles my mind that you could say they're going to be World Series champions.
But, I mean, you say they're not going to be blowing out teams in the playoffs, but just a week ago, Toronto was in the playoffs, and now they're not.
Well,
okay.
I think they are, but just
the Yankees have passed Toronto is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And this is a team that just 10 days ago, people were saying, oh, wow, they're better than the Yankees. No, they're not.
That's right,
Can I
Connor.
talk now?
Of course.
First of all, Tommy, you could totally take into account the injury-prone players that the Yankees have. If you don't take that into account, then your head is just out of this universe. I don't know what to tell you. It's obviously a real problem for the Yankees. It's why they're in this position that we're talking about. If it wasn't for their injuries, they would be at the top of the AL East right now. But the fact of the matter is, we don't know if all these players are going to stay healthy. We never denied that if the Yankees were completely healthy, they're World Series champs. We all picked them to win the World Series. But the fact of the matter is that all these players can't stay on the field consistently. And I'm not going to bet on that. They've been injured every season.
And Mike, you are right, but they've been injured. They've missed time. I feel like now we're kind of past that. That's at least my hope. I mean, I would think that they're fully healed and ready to go. Could something else happen? Yes. But they gave Aaron Judge double the time that he got the first time of the calf injury. Giancarlo has made adjustments to his in-game and pre-game routines that he felt were causing some of the injuries, the muscle strains. I think that they're going to be fine. And, with Luke Voit, that is something to monitor. He's got a little foot issue that he hasn't missed any time for yet. Hopefully that doesn't become anything more. So you are right. You do have to worry about injuries all the time, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they're going to be moving past this because they missed time. They missed the majority of the season. So my hope is that they'll be healthy. And if they're healthy, they're going to be fine. That's the bottom line. But
Okay, if you want to talk about injuries, we can also talk about the pitching staff. Isn't J.A. Happ out for the rest of the season? Right? And Connor, you were talking about Garrett Cole no-hitting the Blue Jays the other day. That was probably his only, really good game this whole season. He hasn't pitched well this whole season.
Are you kidding me? He pitched outstanding the game before against the Mets. He had a complete game shutout. And I would like to acknowledge that there was a 7-inning game, but he was great. He pitched all 7 innings.
Tommy has woke up.
What? Yeah, I've woken up because my team is back and they're fine. Mike, what are you going to say when we're holding up the trophy in October? And you know what the Mets are going to be doing? They're going to be watching the whole thing from their couch because they're doing
I'll
nothing.
tell you when the Yankees
Doing
are holding up
nothing.
that trophy. I'll wake you up from your dream because it's not going to happen this year. The Dodgers are winning the World Series.
No, that's not the case. And we're going to play this back when the Yankees.
God.
We'll
Come
play
on,
it back. We'll play it back when Judge or Stanton gets hurt or LeMahieu or Voit or anyone, because it seems like everyone on the Yankees are hurt all the time. So when me and Matt are telling you to worry about the injuries and you guys are saying, no, we'll just hope that they don't get injured again. That you're just denying the facts put in front of you.
No, Mike, we're not saying, oh, I hope they don't get injured. I hope they don't.
No, but you are saying that they're going to win.
I can't expect
Tommy
it.
literally said that I hope that they're able to stay healthy. We don't know.
We can't expect injuries on players. And we saw when Aaron Judge went down the first time with his calf injury, he was rushed back. He played one game, and he was back on the IL. He hasn't been on the field in how many weeks? 2 or 3? Maybe even more than that. They've given him the time that he needed. Stanton was given the time that he needed, and he came back on Thursday night, and he hit 4 hits. He had a home run.
To the opposite
playing
field,
great.
too, which is good to see because he is
So
fired up.
what you guys are saying is we just should expect injuries to happen. We don't want to expect injuries because that's not what we watch sports for. We don't watch sports to see the top teams get taken down by injuries. What I do is I watch a sport so that when I look and I see the World Series, I want to see the Yankees versus the Dodgers. I want to see the alpha versus the alpha. And I want to see who comes out on top. I want to see a full team versus a full team.
That's right,
So
Con.
I'm speaking more than just a Yankees fan right now. I'm speaking as a baseball fan in general. As when I look to the end of the season, the shortened season that it is and that every game counts, I want to see the 2 best teams at the top. And those 2 best teams are undoubtedly the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Yes, you are right in that perspective, right? But you're saying, oh, we don't want to expect injuries to happen when that's all that's happened to the Yankees this whole season.
But
I
how can
understand
you
that you want to
expect
see the best team against the best team with no injuries, but that's not the way sports works. We're looking at this from an analytical perspective. We're trying to analyze the situation. We aren't looking at this from an entertainment perspective, okay? You have to worry about the Yankees' injuries at the end of the day. That's all I'm saying. I'll stop talking.
Injuries are always a concern, but you can't expect it.
Right. Thank you, Tommy. They're always a concern, and they're always going to keep their players as safe as they can. But they're playing baseball. Injuries could happen. They're going to happen. The Yankees have been killed by the injury bug the past couple seasons. But now, hopefully, their injury list right now is minimal. They have Judge back. They have Urshela back. They have Torres back. They have Stanton back. They have all these top-of-the-line players back, and they're going to do everything they can to keep them on the field.
It just, I don't know. It just boggles my mind that you think they'll be able to beat the Dodgers in the finals. That's my problem here is that you think that they can beat the Dodgers. But I think we can move into go picks. I think that when MLB playoffs come around, this can be a conversation we can have moving forward. But we got to hit the go picks before the end of this episode.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We just had a very heated discussion. Pretty much just call it that: 2 Yankees fans versus 2 people who are trying to be hecklers. But we'll move into our GOAT picks now. I'll heckle them a little bit. I'm still on first place. They gave me another win with the Heat. Me and Tommy were both correct on that, just like we're correct with the Yankees. We'll start with the NHL Stanley Cup. We're going to go Stars versus the Lightning. I'm going to start here first. I think the Stars are going to take this game. I think they're going to come out of the gates and they're going to surprise the Tampa Bay Lightning. It may be a close game, but I think they're going to fire out, and then the Lightning are going to have to adjust, and they'll wind up winning the series. Dallas takes game 1. I'm going to go to Mike here.
I'm going with the Lightning.
Tommy?
I talked about before. I'm going to go with the Lightning anytime we pick them. I have faith in that team. So.
And Matt?
I'm going to go with the Lightning too. I want to be safe. I don't want to be too risky with my picks since I'm on the bottom. I'm surprised you went Stars, but I'm going to Lightning.
All right, now we're going to move into our NFL matchup. It is the Sunday night football game. It's going to be the Patriots versus the Seahawks. Once again, I'm going to start here first, and I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I think the defense is just going to be too much for New England to overcome after only putting up 14 points on Miami. Mike?
I'm going with the Seahawks as well, and they put up 21 points against Miami.
Right, you're correct. Tommy?
I agree. I'm gonna go with Seattle.
I can't go with the Patriots. I'm gonna go with Seattle.
And then we're going to move into our MLB. This is going to be the Minnesota Twins versus the Chicago Cubs. Are we doing a full series or is just this one game?
Do the full series.
We'll go through the full series. Okay, so the full series is starting on Friday. You guys are seeing this on Saturday, and then it'll conclude on Sunday. I'm going to go with the Chicago Cubs. Mike?
I'm gonna go with the Cubs too. I was thinking about, if it was one game, I would have taken the Twins, but Yu Darvish is pitching the third game, so that's a win there. And the Cubs, I think they'll win 1-0 too in the other series, in the other games.
Tommy, who you got?
This is a really tough one. I am gonna go with the Cubs, but I don't know. I'm going with the Cubs.
Man, I don't know if I'm just gonna go with the Cubs. I'm just gonna go with the Cubs. I can't make it that decision.
It's at Wrigley Field, so that's why I feel like, and they do have some fans there up in the rooftop. So
We'll also have the NBA Lakers Nuggets game 2 on our graphic, depending who wins tonight. We'll see.
Yep. Anyone else want to be any hecklers, or can we wrap up the episode?
It's okay. That's fine. Call
There's
me names.
nothing that I could possibly say. Listen, I'm just gonna let it go, and
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys watch it yourself.
Sounds like they're still a little salty from the previous segment, don't you think, Tommy?
I think they are, but I don't know why they're not heavily invested in baseball. They're getting upset.
Wait, hold on. I'm tired. Hold on. Connor, you said you can't expect injuries to happen, but you said for the past 3 seasons, the Yankees have had injuries. If it's happened over and over and over again, how can you not expect it to happen again?
It's not that you can't expect it, but you don't want to expect it.
It doesn't matter what you want. It's what you're seeing. Remove the bias out of it.
We're taking this segment in a perspective that we think we want to be as realistic as possible. And we are taking this as an analytical perspective here. And we, unfortunately, I don't want the Yankees to get hurt. I want to see them in the finals. I want to see them play a good matchup against the Dodgers or whoever it is in the NL. But you got to think of this realistically and take out I wouldn't call it the biases because, I feel like biases.
Not even biased at this point. I'm looking at how many games are left on the schedule, and it's only 10 more games left in the regular season. The postseason starts in a week and a half? So, if Yankee players were to get injured, how many are going to get hurt in 10 games? That's what we have to look at here.
And they're going to start resting people.
I don't want it. I would not put them as a World Series champion. That is just mind-boggling.
But they've already been injured, and you got to think it's probably over.
You could pull your calf and then pull it again. Okay, you're not immune to pulling your calf again. I forgot what injury Stan had, but he can get it again, right? So even if they lose 1 or 2 players, that's going to be huge against an elite team like the Dodgers. And the Yankees already don't have a good bullpen. So once the Dodgers get to their bullpen, I think the Dodgers will come out on top.
Okay.
Tommy, it's not worth arguing.
I know. Well, and it's not. I 100% understand what you're saying, but it's not like you can go into it thinking, "Oh yeah, they're going to get injured for sure." If injuries happen, then we talk about it, and then it's an issue.
I never said that they're going to be injured for sure. I'm just saying that we got to take into account that there's a possibility that they could get re-injured.
But that's true for every single team. That's true for every team.
So with the Yankees,
Mookie Betts could go out tonight and get hit in the wrist, and he could have a broken wrist, and he's done for the season. We have to, if we're going to expect it from one team, whether they're injury prone or not, we have to expect it from every team.
Okay, Tommy, let me ask you. Tommy, how long was the IL list at one point?
It was long. There were 10-plus guys in total. Some of them are out for the year, and they happened before. But that was a big issue. But you know what? They're back, and is the Yankees have to hope that everything is going to be fine. They're going to be healthy, and with Aaron Judge and Stanton, they're going to be playing every day, or every other day, excuse me, for the next week or so to try to rest them to prevent that from happening. So they're going to do everything in their power. Could they get injured? Of course. And so can every other player that's out there right now.
I'm looking at this from the analytical version of who's going out on the field tonight. And who's going out on the field tonight is a completely different Yankee team than who was out on the field 2 weeks ago. So until there's an injury that comes up or an injury that doesn't come up, I'm looking at the field who they're putting the team that they're putting out every day. And the team that they're putting out tonight is healthy. Therefore, the team that's going out tonight, I think, will win the World Series.
Okay,
That's
well,
right,
we're not
Connor.
predicting tonight. We're predicting the World Series, which is
Correct. But we
That's what you're saying.
get injured.
We're saying the chances are greater that someone on the Yankees is going to get injured and impact the Yankees' outcome. We're saying
To hell with
chances are
chances.
greater that
To
happens
hell
than the
with-
Yankees stay
no.
healthy.
To hell with chances. I don't care about what the chance is. I'm looking at the team that the Yankees are putting out on the field tonight in game number 51 of the regular season, and that team is healthy. Therefore, the Yankees right now are healthy. Therefore, right now, the Yankees are the team to beat in the American League.
And
I
if
feel
this
so
happened
bad.
to
I
the
feel so
Dodgers,
bad
we'd
for
be
the
saying
other
the same thing. Because if, say this happened to the Dodgers, we would say the same thing, that their team, the way they are at that time, what?
We would be saying the same thing.
Correct. I would
Yes,
be saying
we
the
would
same
be
exact
We
thing.
would be saying the same thing too.
I would be saying the same
I wouldn't be
thing
saying the same thing because the Dodgers haven't been riddled with injuries over the
No,
past.
but I'm saying if it was reversed and it wasn't my team, is what I'm saying.
If it was the same situation with the Dodgers as it was with the Yankees, I'd be
Exact thing,
saying
on
the
my
same exact thing. I can't trust them. How am I supposed to trust them? Anyways, we aren't going to get anywhere on this discussion. Obviously, me and Matt have a strong stance. Connor and Tommy have a strong stance. Anyways, it's good entertainment at the end of the day. No love is lost at all, I'm sure. But anyways, we got to go. Follow all of our socials. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. And we'll see you later.